Hello, everyone. I'm Cheldin Rumor, and this is it. Welcome back to This Is It TV, one of my favorite segments. I'm so excited. I have our next guest. I'd love for him to introduce himself, his first and last name, and what he's up to.
Cheldin, I'm Bezich, men's health advocate, contributing writer to phillyvoice.com, and of course, the author of Crack the Code, 10 proven secrets that motivate healthy behavior and inspire fulfillment in men over 50. How are you today?
I am good. It is rainy over here on the East Coast in New Jersey, but I'm going to be snuggling up with something warm and catching up on some stuff. But it's always great to catch up with you.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to dive into today's topic. We are keeping it real and hitting a real touch point. Why don't you get started? What is on today's agenda?
Well, what I want to talk about is a new phenomenon, but let me just introduce it by saying, we've spent a lot of time talking about relationships,
right,
and the importance of relationships in health and happiness, the connection between the quality of our social relationships and our health, right? And it's largely with our partner, our spouse, significant other, what have you, but it also includes others. But, it's really that spousal relationship that really drives our health and the quality of our relationships. And it's because they give us purpose and meaning, right? And a reason to look forward to things. But what I've come across recently in my research on men's health, and particularly in the, men 50 and over, of course, is that there's this phenomenon taking place, which has been kind of in place now for a decade or so. And that's what we call gray divorce, right? Which is sort of, we were talking before the show that, too often men do the opposite, and maybe this is another case of that, but it's obviously present amongst men and women. And that is the fact that since the 1990s, the rate of individuals getting divorced that are 50 and over has doubled. And when you look at those 65 and over, it's tripled. The rate has tripled. Now, to set, put a context here, that the divorce rate amongst younger people is still double those of 50 and 65 and older. But the fact that the divorce rate has doubled and then tripled amongst those that are even older is I think, a significant phenomenon in this country, and something to be looked at because, it's so striking. And of course, from a health perspective, it puts a real monkey wrench in the fact that we're trying to do these things to develop relationships because we see the significance between those relationships and our health.
Yes. And is it a situation where if you are a more mature person at this point, does that have a little bit to do with the empty nesting? And now we're in a space like our children have left, provided you have children, there's no obligation to kind of stay within the union and then kind of move forward with your separate lives?
Yeah, so there's all sorts of reasons behind why is this phenomenon taking place. It starts, number one, with longevity. So the good news is that we're living longer, right? So and we're sustaining our health a little bit better over a longer period of time. So someone who's 65 can say to themselves, well, look, I've got another 20 years left. I want to make the most of it. So if I'm feeling unhappy or I'm feeling restless, or there's been other issues in the marriage in terms of fidelity or whatever, then it's more likely to get out. And it's also a phenomenon of the baby boomers, right? We're one who we like our independence. We're not afraid to step up. And so there's a lot of factors behind it. And it's really interesting, it's something I think we got to address.
For sure. And so as it relates to your health, right? As it relates to your health in this particular space, is it, again, we're diving into the relationship in order to be healthier, or we're releasing ourselves from the relationship in order to be healthier? I guess you can take it from both angles.
Yeah, look, you don't want to stay in a relationship that's not fulfilling, because if you're not getting those benefits that I spoke about earlier, then that connection is broken and you want to fix it, right? But on the other hand, if there is an opportunity to salvage a relationship, or you realize that maybe, just maybe, you're not putting the effort into the relationship, right? Because again, it takes work.
Right.
Like anything else that's significant, and if you want it to be fulfilling, you've got to give in order to get. So it works both ways, and it certainly raises a lot of questions.
It does.
But what I did here with my colleagues at Cooper University Healthcare, I went to my friend, Dr. Anthony Rostain, who's our chief of psychiatry.
Wow.
I said, Dr. Rostain, talk to me about, this phenomena is taking place. There's all these benefits of a good relationship, but yet we're divorced as we get older, but we're divorcing more than ever before. So what gives here? So his advice, he focused on three things that I'd like to, offer to your listeners and watchers. Number one, remember that the grass is not always greener, right? Buyer beware. We think that things will change so much. So, it could be, but, kind of do your homework. Really think about, again, have you put in the time and effort into the marriage? What are the core issues that are causing you to think about parting, that type of thing. So, that's number one. Number two is don't make decisions based on emotions, right? When you get divorced, there are financial implications, there are legal implications, there are implications for your family, your children, maybe your grandchildren, your friends and colleagues. It goes wide and far. So you don't want to make a rash decision in an emotional state. So kind of remove yourself and think about that. And finally, respect the humanity of your partner, right? There's no need, particularly at our age, to be nasty and to carry grudges and things of that nature, because what goes around comes around, and you want to really understand that the other person is a human. If things are not working, they're not working. Come to an agreement in terms of how you can separate in a civil way.
Oh my goodness. Well, those are so great. I mean, there's a couple things that I'm thinking as it relates, like one of the things that I always used to see is the grass may be greener, but you still have to mow it, right?
Yes.
And you still have to maintain it, and you still have to be in that space. So just because you leave a situation doesn't mean that there isn't work to be done in another situation, and really focusing on that. I mean, the financial and the work and the messiness of it is one thing, but the other thing that you mentioned that I think that was the number three was the humanity of it, right? And understanding the viewpoint of the other person. We have spoken so many times about, how relationships can help us with our health. They can also be a deterrent. So if you are carrying all of this negativity, all of this animosity, all of this resentment, tell me, doesn't that affect your health as well?
Yes, look, if the relationship is not producing the positive effects, then maybe it is time to get out of the relationship. That's the assessment that you need to make.
Yeah.
And you're right, the grass still needs to be mowed. So, we then look at dating and the propensity of men versus women to date. And the need, frankly, one of the biggest things that men need as they age is companionship. Right. And so that's why men, are more apt to date than women after they divorce at an older age and things of that nature. But that takes work and that takes effort. So, it could be the right thing to do, but, go in with your eyes open, understand all the implications and understand what it's going to take. Ultimately, you're still going to need, what you're not getting in your marriage or your relationship, you're still looking to get. So you need to get it someplace else. And that takes work and effort.
Absolutely. This is all great stuff. And I think that we don't think about, even we talk to, and you have spoken on numerous occasions about the importance of relationships. And I think we've shed a light on that, but the longevity of your relationship, maintaining the relationship, and making sure that you're staying healthy as you do so, I think is super important. My friend, it is always a pleasure to have you on to share your wisdom and your tips with all of us in such an amazing and easy way for us all to digest them. I want more people to follow, fan, and like you. Where would they find you?
You can find me at 50plusmen.com. Go there. You can learn all about what I'm doing, catch up. And if you want me to come out and speak to your organization, I can do that as well. You can get me at that website.
Okay, perfect. I'm so excited that you were able to join me again today. It is so worth it. Follow, fan, and like my friend. From all of us here at This Is It TV, I'm Cheldin Bartlett-Rumer, and we will see you soon. Take care.